Hey there, Christy here with Automation on a Mission, and in this video we are going to talk about the social media scheduler and how to get the most out of utilizing the social media tools that you have at your disposal to work smarter, not harder in your business. Now, what you want to look at in order to access your social media schedulers, you're going to click on the Marketing tab, and we're going to actually look at real honest to goodness data because you're looking at our account. So when I click on Marketing, it actually takes me by default to the social media section of our account. Now, in our situation, because we've already got content already in here created, and we're also already connected to all of our accounts, you've got lots of good stuff to look at. Now, the view on this screen is a list format. You can see over here, if I wanted to look at my format, just to sort of see how is my content being dispersed across, across the different channels and on what days. I can also change my view. This view is actually my preferred view, and then I can get more granular by clicking on the week view to see what is going out on specific days to which channels. So for example, while you have the capability of creating a single post and pushing it out to all your different social media channels at the same time, that may not be the best bang for your buck in terms of keeping your audience engaged when they're on different channels, when they're following you on multiple channels at the same time. Now, you'll notice when and I think it's easier for you to see it when we look at it from the list perspective, all of the stuff that you see here that's green means it's already published and it's already out there in the universe. Whereas the one at the very top is a blue post that is not yet released because it is currently scheduled to go out tomorrow, March 26th at 1:20 p.m. So if I wanted to, I could go in and make edits to this particular post, whereas this one, all I can do is clone it, or I can even preview what this particular post looks like in that specific channel. So if I go back to this particular page here, a couple of things that I wanted to point out is you may very well have an invitation on this screen to automatically connect your social media accounts. And if not, you can also click on this little cog here, and it's going to actually give you the ability to connect to all of your different social media channels. So you click on that Connect Social, and then you click the button that you want to connect. So basically, if it's listed here, these are the ones that we're able to connect with. The caveat to all of this is Facebook and Meta are very specific about the fact that they will not allow us to connect to a personal page. LinkedIn will allow you to connect to your personal profile as well as your business profile. And then the last thing that I wanted to point out is where it says connect community down here below. If you have a community that you've created inside our ecosystem, for example, like our Automation on a Mission membership community, you can schedule posts into your own private community just like you would a social media account. The last thing that I will say is, as much as I love the social media scheduler, the thing that I want you to keep in mind is that social media schedules are all created equal. It's not like Meta likes one better than another or dislikes one more than another. Same thing is true for LinkedIn. LinkedIn and Meta are both going to reward you for going into their system and creating your content there, which is why they've created things like the creative content creator calendar thingy, Meta that is, and both of them will allow you to schedule posts into the future. And you're rewarded by, perhaps a little bit of extra boost in terms of who sees your posts. Whereas if you're using a scheduling tool like Hootsuite, Metricool, or the scheduler in Automation on a Mission, you're always going to see a slight decline in the amount of exposure that you have simply because it's not creating content directly inside those plans. So I always like to give people that sort of awareness. You have some other things in here that you might find interesting around, how people are interacting with your content, copyright planning, and all of that kind of stuff. But I want to go back to the primary screen where we started. You'll see here where it says New Post, and I'm going to click on this blue button and notice all of the choices that we have. So if I click on this create a post, it's going to be just like if I was to write a post for Facebook or Instagram where I can upload my picture and my text and things like that, which I'll show you in just a second. But you also have the ability to create social media content in bulk in a CSV file and upload that social media content from a CSV file. What will happen is it will get uploaded into your system and marked as draft content that you then go through and just review each one and approve. I have used it myself with when I've had other people helping create social media content that's outside of our team. What I will say is efficiency, it was awesome. But for one reason or another, I feel like social media is an area that is huge for creativity. And I felt like it was like I lost some of the creative juices when I was having to view it in a CSV file or an Excel spreadsheet. So not nearly as fun. If you're lacking in inspiration and you want a little help, feel free to utilize the social media templates that are in here. You may like them, you may not. Just know that they were created by a bunch of dudes, so they may not be all that. Feminine. But I want to click on the create a post just so you can see how this piece works. So if I said, I'm going to create something and I'm going to push it out to Facebook and Instagram at the same time, recognizing that it's very rare that you can create a social media post that works perfectly for both because their formatting settings are totally different. This is my post, and so now I can go in and add my pictures. I can do, I can use AI, I can get inspiration, so on and so forth. So once I've got my post created the way I want, I can come down here and I can post my content right away, which is going to push it out immediately. I can schedule it into the future just like I would an email. And I can also send a post for approval. Where this is super helpful is, let's say you have a VA that you've tasked with creating social media content, but you're not ready to hand over the reins without supervision. Maybe you have your VA come into the system, create your social media content. They put it into draft mode, you approve it. Once it's approved, it will follow whatever the schedule is that you've created. And then the last thing is recurring posts. Let's say, for example, you host weekly office hours at the same time every single week to the same link. You can create a single post that repeats itself, the morning of that, those office hours every time. So that way you don't have to go in and create the same social media post over and over and over again. So it just sort of helps you save time and work a little bit more efficiently. So that is essentially the social media planner in a nutshell. As always, if you have any questions, if you have any feedback or requests for how to make the system better, please always share that information with us. We are always trying to ensure that we're making sure that we're meeting your needs. Thanks so much. Have a great one.